Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mitch Gerson with the Gerson Agency, and I'm here with Danielle Farage, who is I'm gonna bucket you as a real expert on Gen Z. So, from a recruitment and marketing perspective, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm Gen X. There, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm Gen X. We worked really hard to understand the millennials, but from a recruitment perspective, can you help us demystify Gen Z? What's different?
Definitely. Nice to see you. My name is Danielle Farage. I'm a workplace futurist. I aim to really foster an elevated consciousness around the intersection of identity, culture, and self-advocacy. Really what I do is I share content relating to career planning and growth mindset and self-discovery. And I'm writing a book about values-based job searching. So as a Gen Zer, I saw sort of this tradition of us job seekers changing who we are in order to fit a specific mold of a company or fit in, right? The culture fit. And I took huge problem with that. And I said, you know what? That shouldn't be the case. And so essentially this idea of values-based job searching was already in existence, but I really took it to another level and said, I see that companies are trying to sort of make their values known to the job seeker. But I think that there's this misstep in trying to think directly about who is job seeking right now and who's coming into the workplace. And then positioning that way in order to really reflect what your values are and the experience that you could provide to job seekers. So essentially, Gen Z is extremely empathetic. We really care about obviously the global economy. We care about people suffering. We have a lot of empathy, but we also we want to not just see and stand here. We do want to start businesses. There's a statistic that says 72% of Gen Z high school students want to start a business. So obviously we're a very hopeful generation, but we're also realistic. So we really understand that in order to get somewhere in the world, we need to take action. And therefore we do value more like experiences over things, right? So I think that there's oftentimes like companies will try to create perks, right? And try to retain or attract future generations and new workforces that way. I really think that if you think about what Gen Z really wants, and we're no different from anyone else, right? We want to be valued, seen, heard, understood. But I think there's one missing word there, which is fulfilled. We want to feel fulfilled. And even if we don't know that we want that, right? And that's sort of the work that I'm doing, is helping people realize what fulfillment looks like in your day to day, and that you can have it, that you don't have to follow the traditional path and try to change yourself. There's nothing wrong with who you are. Everything is right about you. So really it takes an understanding of the person that is coming to the table, seeing their potential, not really focusing so much on the skills, the hard skills, but more about like the opportunity that you can serve them. So essentially, when I come to the table, for example, to a potential job offer, I look for a couple of things. I look for, first of all, a values alignment. So are you living your values truly to who the company is? Are you showing up when asked to show up, right? Are you not just investing and giving millions of dollars to DEI causes, but do you actually have a chief diversity officer? Do you actually have, mentorship programs for underserved communities? So things like that, right? And then the second thing that I really try to do is see and really understand if the person interviewing or the interviewing process reflects and is aligned with who I am, right? So if I'm not vibing really well with the person that's interviewing me, or if everyone, there's 8 rounds of interviews and everyone's taking a lot of my time and not really giving me much feedback or advice, I don't really think that that's a great experience. Do you? So those are sort of some of the things. And I think above all else is the overall experience. So how do people talk about work at a specific company, right? I look to interview people who are both entering and exiting a company, and as well as people who are working there and have worked there for a couple years, because I do want a full understanding of, what went right, maybe what went wrong, or what pulled you away to a different opportunity, or what helped you stay at a specific company. Are there opportunities for career growth and that sort of thing? So definitely valuing the experience. I think a lot of companies are actually, where they can, making the shift to create like innovation labs outside of a company to really give that opportunity and experience to those that are seeking it for this entrepreneurial gene, right? So that's sort of something that I've witnessed, and I hope to see a lot more of, honestly.
You brought up a couple of really good points. I really like your thought around the interview process, which is horribly broken. And I myself have been through, as in one company in particular, a number of years ago, I went through 18 interviews over 6 months. And I got really far, but it was like running a marathon. It was unbelievable. And I don't know that anyone Gen Z would tolerate that. And understandably so. It feels excessive. Also, the idea that it may not be about the obvious perks. It may not be about the obvious, because a lot of us are now working from home remotely, and looking at the trajectory of COVID right now, we may be continuing that into the fall. And it's, what can you offer from values that are more intriguing than a really great break room with some snacks. So that's cool. Well, hey, listen, I really appreciate your time. I very much appreciate your point of view. And thank you very much for giving me a few minutes today.
Definitely. Thank you so much.